COVID-19 continues to put Coloradans in the hospital and take their lives. We're hearing from paramedics feeling the loss of one of their own. And our 9 health expert weighs in about what we should do right now amid all the spread in our community.
The Joker certainly raised some eyebrows with the rough play last night during the Nuggets game, how he and his brothers are defending the play.
We may be months away from Beijing 2022, but some of the world's best athletes are right here in Colorado. We're live ahead of the naming of the U.S. ski team. 4 o'clock on 9 News starts now.
We begin at 4 o'clock with the fight against COVID-19. And today, Pfizer and BioNTech formally asked the FDA to allow booster shots of their COVID-19 vaccine to anyone over the age of 18. The company said they provided data that shows the boosters are safe and effective. They want the FDA's emergency use authorization amended to include now everyone 18 and up. Of course, right now it only includes people 65 and older and those at high risk of COVID-19. Well, as it stands, more than 609,000 people in Colorado have gotten a booster dose already, but it's a fraction of the state's population. 61% is fully vaccinated. In all, nearly 67% of Coloradans have some protection against COVID. But even as our vaccination rates climb, so do Colorado's hospitalization rates. Right now, there are nearly 1,400 people in the hospital with COVID here. That's over 200 more patients than just 2 weeks ago. It's the highest number so far this year. Some of those patients don't make it out of the hospital. In early November, Colorado was averaging about 25 deaths a day.
And one of those lives lost to COVID-19 was a paramedic. He was served in Platte Valley. He was a first responder there for 3 decades, and his loss weighs heavily on colleagues. One of them spoke to 9 News reporter Noel Brennan.
So it's been a rough shift.
At the end of a 48-hour shift,
Mark left a big hole, a big hole.
Mindy Forbes thinks only of the days, weeks, and years
Every minute.
she worked alongside Mark.
He's just not there, and it's sad. It's very sad. So I've been with Platte Valley Ambulance for 13 years. He was there for 14 years.
Mark Smith, a supervisor and battalion chief with Platte Valley Ambulance, made a career caring for others, but the last emergency was his own.
He went in and was admitted to ICU and then ended up passing away Sunday morning from complications of COVID.
A loss Mark's colleagues consider a line of duty death.
There's risk of injury, illness, and death with everything that we do. And Mark was the first one to raise his hand and say, I'm in this fight. I'm here with you guys, as a leader and as a colleague.
A mentor who could always lighten the mood.
He had a way of just walking into a room and just making everybody laugh. It didn't matter who you were. You were victim to his sarcasm.
Humor has been harder to find this week.
It's going to be tough. I think it's going to be tough for a long time.
But Mindy will get through her next shift thinking about the good ones that came before.
That's what we're going to live by, I think, going forward.
Noel Brennan, 9 News.
Now, many of you asked about Mark Smith's vaccination status, so we called his employer, SEL Health. They wouldn't tell us, citing privacy rules. They did send us a statement that read in part, "We adhere to all federal and state policies related to personal protective equipment and vaccination." After arguments have broken out about masks and other COVID-19 policies, the Douglas County School Board has updated its safety and security protocols ahead of tonight's Board of Education meeting. Students, parents, and the public are no longer allowed to tailgate the meetings or bring signs that are considered disruptive. Anyone who violates the new policy can be denied entry or asked to leave. The district says it's, quote, an effort to maintain decorum and create a non-threatening environment for all of our guests. 3 Colorado school districts are closing school on Friday due to staffing shortages, and in just the last few minutes, we've learned 3 schools in Denver will transition to fully remote temporarily. They include George Washington High School, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Early College, and John Hemess Elementary School. One of the school districts closing Friday is Boulder Valley. They made the decision after more than 470 teachers in the district said they'd be absent following the Veterans Day holiday. The district says there are not enough teachers or substitutes to cover all of the absences, and they've lost more than half of their subs for the year because of the pandemic.
Our focus bar none, is to be here at school with our students. And so it's hard. Every day we're making those decisions. We're really trying to do everything possible to keep things running, but there's a moment at which it's too far. You just can't serve students safely at that point.
Staff who are not using PTO on Friday will use the day to lesson plan. The district also has childcare available for parents who need it. Other districts closed for the day include Adams County School District 14, Adams 12 five-star schools as well.
All right, let's take a look outside. Some cloud cover now, but we're still pretty warm, up in the high 50s. It has been a much nicer day, much warmer day than yesterday. And even after we've been spoiled, this is pretty good weather for this time of year.
It's a little gray.
Not bad, though.
No, I shouldn't complain.
I know, but I was trying to bring the nice side of it.
Oh, you always bring the light into this
and
day.
you with your negative spin on it. And Kathy, you know, you can be the arbiter here.
Oh, it's a little gray.
Yeah, just
Don't you think? I mean,
Teeny bit. Yes, bring in the light.
Kim's always trying to tell the downside.
Is
the
she,
hard.
though?
Yeah, don't you think?
No.
Debbie Downer. That's me.
It is very dry. It is nice and warm out there in spite of the cloud cover, you guys. This is all part of a storm system crossing Colorado that will bring some moisture to the higher terrain areas on western slope, but not much to Denver. Let's go out. Right now, travel just fine on I-25, and we went from mostly sunny to mostly cloudy. There'll be a few light snow showers over the northern and central mountains with a winter weather advisory that goes out tonight. Temperatures seasonal today, close to 60 for many areas. Cloud cover has brought those numbers down a few degrees. The really cold air to the north of us, but with southwest winds beginning to move in, we'll start to see some of that warm air settle into at least some parts of Colorado. Mostly cloudy and calm in the Boulder area. We're tracking winds coming in from the southwest here across the South Metro, and then more out of the east and southeast out around the DIA area. So that's really keeping that low level cloud cover in play. We're watching the whole front cross Colorado, counterclockwise circulation near Salt Lake City, and that is where the cold air is, and that is where the best potential for rain and snow will be northern Utah and northern Colorado. It's a fast-moving system. Winter weather and travel advisories kind of spread out across about 9 states, and we have a tiny area up around Rocky Mountain National Park and the Flat Tops Range, the Elk Head Mountain Range. These are areas that could see 4, 5, maybe 6 inches of snow late tonight and through noon tomorrow. Dealing with some wind in southeastern Wyoming with a high wind watch posted there. So if you are traveling I-25 northbound, be aware you will run into wind north of Fort Collins. Little snow developing in Steamboat by about 8 o'clock tonight, spreading as far south as Aspen and Vail. Denver, only isolated showers expected tonight with a little wave coming through, maybe even tomorrow morning. Temperatures in the mid-50s with mostly cloudy skies between now and 8 o'clock. And in our main weather segment, we're going to detail this storm, talk about the potential for rain and snow in Denver as we move into Thursday afternoon. That's probably our best chance. So we'll have all that ahead in just a few minutes.
The FBI has now joined the massive investigation into how Travis Scott's Astroworld music festival turned deadly this past weekend. The 8 people killed were all under the age of 30. They were caught in that sea of nearly 50,000 fans pushing towards the rapper. Now, amid that crowd was a man from Northglenn and his 9-year-old son.
He told our Darius Johnson he's still racking his mind as to what he could have done differently to help those in distress.
It was supposed to be the perfect weekend trip for this father and son, but that hope changed once the gates opened at Astroworld Music Festival.
That's when the barricades, got kicked in and they were just rushing.
Jesse Dahl says the crowd near the stage was relatively calm until the show was about to start.
So at about 7 o'clock we go there, and we're right up front, like right in front, like the stage is 10 feet from us, right in the middle. And I told my son I didn't feel comfortable right there. I said, if anything happens, we need a way to get out.
The two made it to a handicapped platform where they felt safe enough to watch the concert. That's when their view changed.
I was seeing people getting crowd surfed, and they weren't moving. He was down there with his shirt ripped open, and his face was already blue at that time, and they were doing compressions on him.
Those who saw this happening tried to stop the show, even Dahl.
Just kind of frantically yelling at that point to stop the show or radio for help because somebody was down here and it was clearly he was dying.
He and his son made it out safe, unaware the scene turned deadly. Now it leaves him wondering if he'll ever attend another concert again.
I really don't feel comfortable right now at this point, to be honest.
While calling for change after excitement turned chaotic.
Definitely needs to be more protocol set in place for, a plan B if something does happen.
I'm Darius Johnson, 9 News.
And nearly 24 lawsuits have been filed by families involved. Travis Scott was set to perform in Vegas this weekend. He says he's too distraught to play. He's also promising to refund those who bought a ticket to Astroworld, as well as assist with funeral costs for those who died.